Approval of the minutes from the August 22nd.
So moved.
I second it. All in favor? Wasn't here. Okay, we'll go to the staff report.
And my daughter played sports all the way through college, and now my daughter and future son-in-law both coach two different high school sports. So if I'm not something with some here around here, I'm chasing them all over the Missouri now. And just try to stay active. My guy, sometimes you'll notice that I have to leave on certain days early, and I'll have to say I'll go check on Zoom. My guy is on my dialysis at home at night. And if he is gonna have to do double bag, I'm gonna have to be there to help him hook up. But most of the time, we're gonna try accommodating so that I can just hook him up later. But been here since 2000, 2000, so.
Nice. Yeah, well, I guess the only person you probably don't know here is Kyle, right? Do you know Kyle? Kyle, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Kyle Squires. I've lived here 7 years. Pretty involved in youth sports here, probably the big pain in the head for Alex. I am that.
There's a lot worse.
And I try to stay pretty involved. I got 3 little girls. One's right there. We got basketball at 7:30. So pretty involved in that. Still want to be part of the community. Have a good recreation.
I was on the board for the Smithville softball as well as Smithville soccer before I came into the parks.
Well,
And I'll do a quick reminder too to make sure that you turn on your mics when you talk. It should just be a button. Yeah.
It'll be a red light.
Yeah.
So those online can hear us.
You want to keep it on full time. If not,
Yeah, you'd flip it on the bottom. There you go.
just for
You're
people
good.
for
It's red,
recording
not red.
purposes.
I'm red. I'm live.
You're live.
All right. So further into the staff, let me pull this down. All right. So Emerald Ridge Park updates. So as of January 14th, Emerald Ridge Park is waiting on the shelter installation. The park and playground are usable, but no final walkthrough has been conducted. Once the shelter is installed and warmer weather is in the forecast, we'll have a proper ribbon cutting and celebration. Got an email actually today around lunchtime that the shelter is going to be delivered and going to be start being constructed on the 29th of January. So good news there. And then, like I said, no final walkthrough has been done yet. There has been a couple of little things that have been brought to my attention that hopefully they can get done before actually warmer weather gets here and the playground is in full use. So Campground Road resurfacing project. So in the fiscal year 25 budget, the Board of Aldermen approved $150,000 in funds for resurfacing Smiths Fork Campground. Due to the heavy construction the past 2 years, the road took some significant damage and resurfacing was completed before Thanksgiving, and gravel is now being added to the sides to bring them level with the road. Smiths Fork Campground had a great season at the end of the year with a 42% occupancy rate. This is up from last year's occupancy rate of 39.48%. So the campground's growing. It's one thing that it doesn't get kicked to the side, but it's one thing that is not the prettiest thing that we do, but it is a great source of revenue for the city of Smithville and our general fund, and really offsets a lot of the expenses that we have go on as far as park maintenance. So want to make sure that we keep that vibrant, keep it usable, and keep campers coming back year after time. So we had campers from all over the world. I think the furthest one we had this year as a visitor was up in Canada. So they stayed with us for a couple weeks. Yeah. So that's exciting on the campground side. And our camp hosts are coming back again, so they're well loved in the campground. And then we'll have to put that out for bid after this season. So it's a 3-year contract.
He's very useful. We camped there
Yeah,
quite a bit, even though it's just down the street.
yeah. So you'll probably like the new road resurfacing and the new gravel at every site. So it'll look nice. Community Awards Banquet. So the Community Awards Banquet is scheduled for February 27th. That's at 5:30 p.m. That's at White Iron Ridge. This is a collaboration between the Parks and Recreation Legacy Fund with the Smithfield Chamber of Commerce to host a night at the CMAs at the White Iron Ridge. This gala honors accessible citizens and dedicated volunteers within the community while raising crucial funds for the Parks and Recreation Legacy Fund and Smithfield Chamber of Commerce. We do need volunteers as well. If you want to attend, please let me know. I know Haley's attended. Obviously, the mayor is there. Haley's worked the silent auction table a few times. Danny has taken some pictures. So if you do want to attend this, please let me know. We'll make sure we get you a ticket and put you at a table with city staff at least. So
I'm nominated, so I don't know for sure if I'm in the part of it or not. 'Cause
You
I
will-
didn't share it on Facebook or anything.
you will get a ticket then. So
If you're in the
Yeah.
final 3.
I'm in the final 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Final 3. Yeah. Yeah.
You
But if
gotta
not,
fix, like,
but if not, we'll help. If you want to attend, we'll cover that through
Voting
the
no.
Parks and Recreation and city side.
Post it.
So that's still it's
I think
Oh,
it
it
closed
does.
Tuesday
Close Tuesday.
or Wednesday.
I don't know. It's on the memo. Hang on. It's in there somewhere. Saw it. Voting deadline, January 22nd.
It's
Vote early.
Should have voted.
I didn't share the post, so I'm like, well, if I got voted in, I did vote in.
I clicked on it, I was like, these are long bios.
Smithfield Senior Center. So in preparation for the 2025 budget season, staff worked with Clay County Senior Services to secure just about $14,000 additional grant funding. So that brings us a total of 68,000. Liberty keeps taking so much more of it. To extend our offering to 5 meals a week and provide alternative programs on Tuesdays and Thursdays. This grant also funds our senior services coordinator, and we also have an open position right now for a senior services coordinator assistant as well. So we'll get some more staffing in there as we continue to grow and go 5 days a week. Some things have changed over in the senior center. The senior board decided not to renew their 501c3 status, as all financial management has of the senior center is now overseen by city staff, and other daily responsibilities have been transferred over to Amy. These changes were approved by the senior board before the position was hired, so this was stuff that we had talked about well prior to that. And we also just on January 7th approved of a new MOU with the senior center that just kind of outlines the duties and responsibility of both parties. So we still want the senior board to be the senior board and be there for any changes or suggestions that we want to bring to them, and they can, we want to make them feel useful and continue to grow the senior center as they've done since 2013. So we're just helping more and helping them get more funds. And then also in the staff report, you don't see it here, but on your table, I have a kind of a year end report, and I can email this to you once we get it out, but it shows kind of the marks we've made on the master plan, the 10-year master plan, as well as the accomplishments from both the Parks and Recreation Division and some of the larger projects that we are having scheduled this year. So make sure you take a look at that. And if you have any questions on that, please let me know. But it was overall it was a great year. Our staff does a really good job at continue to upgrade with the funds we have. Definitely on the park maintenance side and the rec side, there was our numbers keep growing, as you'll see here in the recreation report as we get there. But if you have any questions over this, let me know. But wanted to provide that to you all. And then lastly, Haley and I have talked as well as the mayor that we're going to go back to a quarterly schedule for the Parks and Recreation Committee. I'll get those dates on your calendar, but we're looking at January, April, maybe August, and then October. So I'll get those out to you, and we'll make that official. Anything from me before I pass over to Alex for the recreation report? Good. All right, Alex, all you.
Okay, just a quick report. I'll start with sports. We're currently in the middle of basketball season. We're on week 5 of 9 for games. Let me see. Oh, youth soccer deadline is coming up soon in a week and a half. And then new this season, we have ASOS Play Soccer, and they're an organization that reached out to Matt, and we're gonna give them a try this season to take over our Little Kickers program. Aspen is usually over the Little Kickers clinics, and we just have a hard time finding staff or like high schoolers applying at all. So Aspen just ends up doing it anyways. So we're gonna try and see how this goes. This is like a trial for the fall too, and we'll see. So that registration is still open just until they're full. And then I included all of our youth sports registration numbers for 2024. And every year we go up about 100 people. So that's crazy. 100 kids every year is a lot, especially in this population. So that's great. And then I also included our facility rentals. Aspen keeps track of all of these for us. And they keep staying steady as well. They just keep going up.
This is the first year we've done this for a full year, so we're excited to see what 2025, so we can start comparing that stuff.
Yes. Yep. And then on the next page, I included every program or event that we had last year, and then how much attendance we had, and then if the program was full or not. So pretty much half of our programs were full. A lot were really close, but a lot of our little programs fill up really fast. And then I put our rack card at your seat, the orange flyer, and we put those out 3 times a year. And these are our spring programs that we are offering right now. A lot of them are new. Aspen's trying a lot of new programs this season, like Valentine cookie decorating. We have monthly clubs for about 20 kids is how much we can handle. We've had Kind Club, Candy Club. We have Science Club, Nature Club coming up. Those are all new that we're trying. Trivia night. And then we just keep continuing to add pickleball. And I'm working on a lot of new pickleball programs for the summer. I was working on that today. So we have a lot of pickleball coming.
We're using Grace Church for that.
Yeah.
Football.
Yep. For spring lessons, we're gonna do them in Smiths Forest Park, but in the summer it's so hot, we'll do them inside at Grace Church. And then just a couple marketing things to wrap it up. We are gonna have a new sponsorship package coming out soon. Matt and I were working on it today, hopefully in the next month. Some banner sponsorship opportunities, digital things on our website, stuff like that. So hopefully that'll go live in like a month. And then one more thing, Aspen worked on this a lot this fall. She merged our facility reservation software with our sports software and program registration. So now it's just all in one, which is really nice. It's a lot easier for everyone. So if you already have an account for sports registration, then you can use that account to reserve a shelter or something way easier. So I think that's all I have right now.
Yeah, and I'll just kind of chime in real fast on the AYSO. So that also allowed us to expand. So we were only able to do 40. Now we were able to up it to 80. So they have 4 staff members and we allowed 3 time slots. So they're there, they show up, and like we said, we're giving them a try to see how it goes. They have they're you're probably American Youth Soccer Association. They're all over kind of like the West Coast. They're making their way this way. So it'd be exciting to get some staff who have the knowledge of soccer, because we don't want to keep doing the clinic to a bad quality. So this will really up there and have reliability. So like she said, Aspen was basically running all the surveys say, we like the girl with red hair to do it. And so I was like, well, of course Aspen's really good at it. And I mean, over the years, I've had to teach it by myself. So this will just get some more consistency in there. It's a really good program and it's 100% helped us grow our soccer program. So we want to keep doing it. So
There was one really good guy, Hunter, maybe?
Yeah, hunters are reliable.
Yeah, he was
Soccer
good.
guy, yep.
He was good.
right. That's all we have for staff report. Anybody have any questions over anything of the recreation stuff? Cool. Exciting for another year, for sure. All right.
Is the staff report done?
Yes.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah.
Next Parks and Recreation review presentation.
All right, so as I kind of mentioned earlier in my staff report when we were introducing Shauna, the city of Smithville did a Citizens Academy where 12 people applied and went through, what was it, almost 6 weeks, 7 weeks?
I think it was total 8.
8 weeks of kind of a review of just city in general from different departments and got a real deep dive into the background. So when I did this presentation, it was about 2 hours and then we went and did a tour of, yeah,
One thing you forgot on the staff report, future meetings.
I did say it quarterly.
Do we want to have? Do the dates work?
Yeah, the dates work. We were gonna do January, April, August, and October. Yeah. Yeah. No, you're good.
Just making sure.
That worked for you?
I think it works for me. I just know that we had.
I think it was my daughter's birthday on one of them, and I was like, no, not her second birthday.
I know that
We
was-
can look to change that August one to a different day that week or something like that. We can,
Always the third Thursday then? And we're gonna.
The fourth
and
Thursday.
fourth on those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thursday,
yeah.
but I
So,
know Haley had a conflict.
In April, maybe we can check in with that and just see once we get a little closer, if that works.
April 24th would
And
be the
also-
next
And
one.
also, one of the things with quarterly meetings. I think we have the role on this board too. If you miss 3,
Yeah,
we have to have a conversation.
come to the principal's office.
Yeah, so we need to make sure we
Yeah,
missing 3 is. Even easier to do apparently on quarterly.
hmm
No, you might think it's harder.
We've only lost one person to that rule, so.
Board.
On this board, yeah, on this board. So yeah, quarterly meetings, there'll just be not a whole lot going on project wise as we were when we were really diving into the playground and park design stuff. And so this will allow us to have more productive meetings here when we do quarterly coming up. It'll be budget season in April, so we can really discuss that stuff. Good, okay. So yeah, Citizens Academy, they really dove a deep dive in that when we did this presentation for them. One first thing I thought was this would be great for to go over the Parks and Rec Committee with. This was about a 2-hour presentation. I'm gonna really go quick through it to not do that. Because you guys do know a lot, and so this is more just a refresher of kind of what is going on, if anything has changed for you all. So this was our 2024 budget. We operate basically just right under, just over $900,000. Obviously, you can see almost half of that is in personnel expenses, and we'll kind of get into staffing here in a second. But we have 9 city parks, 300 acres of parkland with different facilities and programs like that, different spaces, as well as the senior center that we look at too. So
You're gonna have to up that number too, by the way.
yeah,
Alex's report.
Yeah,
It
that's
says
not-
youth, right? So
that was well, hadn't been updated to that
on
one.
a campground, if they have 3,000 people, probably 1,000 of them alone are. youth,
Yeah.
right?
Parks and Rec staff, you can see we have the director at the top. We have the camp host, which is seasonal. We have the recreation manager, which is full-time. Alex oversees the recreation coordinator, which is Aspen, as well as clinic instructors and part-time staff as needed. We have the senior services coordinator, which is part-time, that is staffed out of the Smithville Senior Center, and then here soon we'll have a senior services assistant underneath her. And then we have our parks maintenance crew leader, and we have 2 park maintenance worker 2s, and then seasonal as needed. For the parks maintenance, we usually like to have between 2 or 3 seasonals for them.
How many of those do you have that have been like reoccurring?
Seasonals?
Yeah.
On the parks maintenance side?
Yeah.
We just lost Eli. He finally left us. He was with us since he was a junior in high school, and he went all 4 years of college with us after that. And then we had Lance, he was there with us for 2 years plus his military time stuff. Corey has been with us. He's part-time year round, basically. Just comes in 3 days a week. He's going on year 2 with us. So I've had a lot of returners, which is nice. We had Johnny Kennison as well. He was a retiree that was with us for 3 years.
I thought, was there discussion about her going full-time?
There was discussion about her, but we weren't able to make it happen.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then that's the part-time
Yeah.
assistant.
Yep. Yeah, it was. We brought to.
Liberty took all our money.
Yeah, that's what they said.
You
All
were just getting
right.
Your programs at Liberty.
So Parks and Recreation Master Plan, obviously many of you were involved in that. But it's a 10-year plan that kind of puts our future with our half-cent sales tax together. And so as you can see in the accomplishment page I gave you, we are on year 3. We just completed year 3 of the master plan. And many of them were crossing off. We basically made it through the short-term plans for that, and we are on to the medium-term period, years 4 through 6. A lot of those are aimed at continuing the neighborhood park focus, getting art downtown, looking at trails as we have the Riverwalk coming up. So all that stuff is scheduled. And then obviously that big project working on there is the Smiths Fork project and getting that done. So here towards the end of the year, maybe in October when we meet, we'll really start diving into that Smiths Fork as it's scheduled for engineering in 26, 27. So that'll be a good project that I'll be looking forward to you guys on getting ideas down as we start looking at that.
Yeah, because one of those medium-term goals included, the sports courts at tennis, and now that the school's got it on their bond issuance in April,
Yeah.
it might not be.
Yeah. So it'd be kind of like basketball and pickleball, but we did add that we took those funds or we took those ideas and put them into the Smiths Fork project. So
Yeah.
it'll all be done at once rather than separate. So, but we'll definitely see what happens there. That could change by 2026, 27 as well. So.
Depends on
Half cent
the
sales tax, when we put the half cent sales tax back in 2021, we were estimated around 450,000. The past 2 years, we've been averaging somewhere around 700,000 in sales tax, and that is split between Public Works for stormwater projects. They have been doing projects, but we have been putting our savings aside for that Smiths Fork project. But it also helped us add more money to Emerald Ridge because originally we were only looking at 250,000, and then we bumped that up and doubled it. So
And interest has helped us too.
yeah,
Keeping the money in the bank and gaining interest.
this is you all, Parks and Recreation Committee. So
Where's your
this,
shirts?
yeah. Yeah. So this committee advises the Board of Aldermen on any improvements or additions they deem important for the city parks and recreation system and may provide reports and other documents to the planning commission relating to improvements or amenities in accordance to the master plan. So we have 7 committee members. As you guys, we just did Emerald Ridge project, for example, but we've also done the Heritage Park and different things. So we're excited to continue moving on to that. So as you kind of heard me talk about the banquet, the Smithville Legacy Fund, so this is kind of our fundraising group. So the Smithville Legacy Fund was established in 2013, was to serve the community foundation. Funds exist to improve the quality of life in the city of Smithville and surrounding areas. And basically the Legacy Fund members will work with stakeholders to prioritize and to use the expenditures or use the funds for expenditures. And what was it, probably 2 years ago or 3 years ago, probably now, where the Legacy Fund really wanted to focus on park projects. And so that's where I came on board with the assistant city manager at the time and started working with that. And now I'm just on there by myself with them. But it's, we have 3 members now. We have 1 open spot. But we kind of did some brainstorming with them a few years back, and they really wanted to focus on raising funds for the Heritage Park stage. And so we put some money together and put a rendering. And when we go to the banquet or any other events, we have this here, and we want to start raising funds to close the gap in the funding because currently this is scheduled for 2029. But as we start raising funds at the banquet, we're hoping we can do this project a lot sooner. The banquet the last 2 years, we've raised just over $12,000. So we got 24,000. I think in there is actually 27,000 now. And I mean,
Yeah, I think
that matters.
I think I gave him a $2,000 check to put in there. not
Yeah.
Too long ago.
So that money matters, and you think here by 2028 we'll have hopefully more in there, and if we could get close to $100,000 to cut that in half, I mean that means we can definitely get that sooner. So excited for that.
Who's on that board again?
So it is Jennifer Justice. She is a realtor in town. And then we have Angela Gillen. She's with Edward Jones, and then Starla Jane. She is with she's got her own realtor company now. So 3 big stakeholders that are really good at fundraising, but doesn't mean we won't get you guys to help with some fundraising too, because I know you guys are good at that, especially Shauna as well. So we'll really start digging into that. I think we have that on our we talked about in our meeting to look at that maybe towards the end of the year to get some fundraising stuff together and have you guys a little bit more involved with the banquet to really grow it to not get too stale. So
Yeah, we're running out of award shows to copy.
yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go through our parks here. It kind of go over kind of the amenities there. So we have Heritage Park, which is obviously located just downtown. We have 2 lighted ball fields, 1 unlighted, 1 shelter, basketball court, playground, a half-mile paved walking trail, open green space, 1 restroom, and 2 parking lots. And the improvements to this is in phase 2 of the master plan, which is in that 40-year or year 4 to 6, but it'll probably be towards the end of that around 2029. So it'll be a little bit away, but we have to get Smith's Fork done first before we can do anything to Heritage Park because we can't get rid of the ball fields. Can't get rid of all of our ball fields basically. So
But it is looking really good with the caboose getting painted and
it is.
the bandstand
Yeah.
being gone. And
Courtyard Park, located right in the center of downtown. This is the Allie Kemp Memorial Stage. It has electricity. We've added the 9/11 Memorial, perimeter electrical boxes, shade trees for now, picnic tables, park benches, and restrooms. I say the shade trees. I do want to say we've put, they're under contract with Urban Tree Specialists. They are struggling. It's been known since before I was here in 2017 when I started. They were already on contract, and we spent multiple thousands of dollars to keep them alive and keep them healthy. They're in a very small space for those kind of trees to be so close to each other. They basically fight over water and sunlight together. But Urban Trees they're out there 3 times a year, giving them what they need and just trying to get them to grow. And there have been some improvements over the years. There are some that are still struggling. So
yeah, they give them giant shots. It's
they basically do.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Shots of iron.
so if for those of you that don't know, like trees like that need a root system as wide as it is tall and deep, and
Yeah.
it's got like 10 feet of grass,
Yeah.
and the rest is pavement. So
Yeah.
it doesn't get a lot.
So
So we might have to look at shade structures and alternatives down there too.
yeah, 'cause I think I just sent them a $5,000 check for what they've been doing over the past fall. So
And one of the other things we struggle with, because Matt and I got to see this when we dug the 9/11 memorial, is there's foundations there because there used to be buildings there,
mhm.
and they didn't take the foundations out. So we hit brick, we hit rock. So that was a gravel lot. So those trees are dealing with that too. So
Yeah, so we try to keep the soil as soft as possible and water it multiple times a day. So we're trying for them, but they are a staple for downtown, so we don't want to lose them, but we'll keep trying our best. But yeah, alternatives are in the back of our minds for for shade in the future.
I was in Columbia a couple weeks ago for a wrestling tournament. Went to a
Make
park.
sure you
and they
put your
had
mic on.
it on.
I think that's all I
Just
can.
make sure you can talk, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
I was in Columbia a couple weeks ago and pulled into a park just to waste some time.
Mm.
And they had like the mesh tops and they had them in triangles throughout the whole park. And I was like, it dawned on me what it was and probably a pretty efficient way to keep shade on
Yeah.
parks.
Yeah, that would definitely be those canopies that we got at the splash pad, something
Yeah.
similar to that.
And we've talked about it before, like if we do so, on the square, since we do like, before we do the next stage or whatever, but maybe in the park and stuff like that, if we do run something with like canopies, you could put speakers in and put
Yeah,
better lighting in because the lights down there are not great.
Yeah.
During movie night, so.
definitely some future planning there, but nothing is scheduled to upgrade Courtyard Park at the current moment, but doesn't mean that something could come up at any moment. We have Remembrance Park, which is right across the street from City Hall, right here on the corner of Bridge and Main Street. That is a veteran memorial donated in 2007 by Mayor and Mrs. Charles Hitchborn, and they also added the gazebo. This past year, our maintenance guys took it on themselves to upgrade that, so now it has been repainted. The rust is not there anymore, and now the roof is gray, and it kind of matches a little bit more with downtown. So, we got Helvey Park, which is at 1 Helvey Drive. That's about 31 acres, and it's probably my favorite park that we have. Is it's about 15 acres of parkland, including a 10-acre stocked lake, one shelter that was donated by the Kiwanis Club. We got picnic tables around the water and shade trees throughout. It's definitely one of the most peaceful, and this is in phase 3 of the master plan. It looks at putting a walking trail all the way around it to add a way to use it a little bit more.
And no ice fishing at Helwey Park.
No
The
ice
water
fishing.
does move, people.
Yeah.
It is part
It
of
was
our
not that cold at the
reservoir.
time.
We might have been the ones to call the police the last time.
It
because
was-
there was dolts on him. There was out dolts. on
Yeah,
him.
it's the moving water, so it does not freeze that solid.
The guy said it was 4 inches thick of ice, but it couldn't have been that way the whole way around.
No, just on the edges.
Yeah, Helvey Park. I will say the Kiwanis Club has they're still, this is kind of what they use as their fishing derby for their event, and they're the ones that added the shelter, and it looks really nice, and they're looking at possibly seeing what they could do more there of a walking trail to the shelter or just additional things. So we're excited to see.
I think they added a fire pit this last year.
Yeah,
They
the
added
fire pit got
purpose.
added and yeah, that's one that we can, that's kind of gonna be the Kiwanis, since they use it the most.
Yeah.
They can do projects there with, that derby's huge. If you haven't been,
Yeah.
it's big.
Really cool.
They catch fish this big sometimes.
Diamond Crest Park and OK Railroad Trail. So phase 1 of the master plan was to complete Diamond Crest Park because the splash pad was there, but just by itself in the middle of the field. That was donated to the city in lieu of payment of dedication, which is a development ordinance that when they come in, there's a fee that goes into how many units are within their development. And so there's a evaluation, and I'll send this out to you, and I have this link to that ordinance there, so you can take a look at it and see that. But the lieu in payment for Diamond Crest at the time was just right around $60,000. So they built the splash pad, but then gave us to do the rest. And the master plan, we put together $250,000 into adding the playground, the sidewalk, and the fencing around the area. So we had been working with that same developer to add in a parking lot, and restroom, but that did not succeed. So in 2023, for the 2024 budget, the Board of Aldermen allocated $90,000 for a restroom and more sidewalk improvements. We were able to get that done right there towards the end of the year. It took a whole year to get it, but we weren't the only one in Parks and Rec departments that were waiting on them. I think they were waiting for Clay County so they could do it all at once, because Clay County put in 6 different restrooms around the area. But we got that in. Everything's done. It'll be ready to go for the start of the season. And then the parking lot is in discussion. So if you've been up there lately, there's a new development going there right there by 169. They've moved dirt already. That developer has agreed to add in a parking lot for us. in lieu of his dedication fee. And we felt this is a lot more better partnership already than the previous one we were in. So hopefully that parking lot will be in before we open the splash pad for the season.
And just so you don't, those of you that don't know, before we built this park, all of our parks except Emerald Ridge were on Main Street.
Hmm.
So we had Diamond Crest is the farthest north that the city goes pretty much, and then Emerald Ridge is redone now.
Yeah,
But it
wasn't-
was
yeah,
pretty bad.
Yeah. So in 2024, the city was awarded a recreational trails program grant from DNR, that's Department of Natural Resources, to construct OK Railroad Trail, which was formerly known as Diamond Crest Trail. This was an old railroad right of way that went through Smithville and all its way up to from Oklahoma all the way up to Iowa. And part of the grant was some historical references, and so to add some more points to us, we renamed the trail, provided the historical reference to that area. And we're looking to put that trail out for bid here by the end of the month of January, if not early February, and get that out for bid to hopefully start construction this summer. So that'll be almost a 12-foot wide trail that'll be concreted. That'll go from the top there of that Diamond Crest neighborhood all the way to Lake Meadows, and provide 3 neighborhoods with access to Diamond Crest Park. So be really cool once that's done, and really complete that park once the trail and parking lot have been completed.
Did Chuck end up doing the engineering on that?
Yes.
And so we saved the engineering fees by doing it in-house.
Yep.
I mean, it's 12-foot line, hopefully we
Yep.
can drop. But this is part, if you guys look at it on a map, for those of you that don't live up north, the plan is to eventually hook it into Eagle Heights and the trail that's going to go down Eagle Parkway to tie in 180th Street Trail.
Yeah, we already have the right of way to go behind Lake Meadows, which is where phase 2 will be, and then phase 3 would be getting it from the end of Lake Meadows somehow back over to F Highway into
Eagle Parkway.
Eagle Parkway. Eagle Parkway now, yes. Eagle Parkway, maybe Tillman right there. So
It's Eagle, yeah, there's Tradewinds, I
Trade
think is the
winds,
road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We have right away on the street. It's just getting from Lake Meadows to that
Yeah.
part.
So we're excited to move on this park, and hopefully will be completed here. It won't take long to concrete all that once it's out and done. So
And-
hopefully by the time the splash pad opens up around Memorial Day, we'll see a lot of progress done.
And 188th to like Banesbridge is part of the development going in by Eagle Heights, right? By Wildflower.
Yep. Emerald Ridge Park, you guys have heard a lot about that one. Won't spend too much, but that current playground that was there that you see on this side of the left, that was installed in the year 2000. But as you guys work through, and we have what we have now, so excited to get that shelter in there here in the coming weeks. Smiths Fork Park, this is our largest park. It's 250 plus acres that the city leases from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Has 1 lighted and 1 unlighted ball field and soccer area, a lighted football field, 2 shelters with electricity, 2 shelters without electricity, 2 restrooms, skate park, self-supplied driving range, a campground, special use scout area, Girl Scout special use area, and fishing from the Smithville Lake Dam. This is obviously in phase 3. Phase 2 and 3 of the master plan. First phase obviously is the sports complex, and then phase 3 is deeper on as well for like a destination playground, which is listed in the master plan. Smiths Fork Campground. This is a full service campground. Each site has electricity, water, sewer, and connections. That separates us from the county campground because they have just electricity at each campground.
Yeah, they're lakeside, but they don't have.
Yeah, they have dumps, and then you got to fill up your tank. So a lot of people enjoy our campground just because we're all service, and it's a lot easier to stay longer at our campground. We have a restroom and shower house on site. Throughout the years, we officially upgraded all sites to 2030 amps. Previously, it was just right around 2021 where we only had half the campground at 50 amp, and all the RVs were just getting bigger and bigger. And so the Board of Aldermen allowed us to upgrade that. And we were turning people away because we didn't have 50 amp and they had to have it. So now we're all 50 amp, which is what most use, and then 30/20 for different services there.
And you guys have almost got all the water lines are,
We're about halfway. Yeah, we're about halfway to get frost-free lines in.
and then sewer, we put a new pump station in, so
Yeah,
you're good
yeah.
for a while on that.
Sewer's good. We do probably, there looks to probably be some kind of tree roots in the sewer
Yeah,
somewhere.
we're doing the lateral, but
Yeah.
your station's new.
Station's new, and you'll see on the accomplishments, the Parks and Rec Department, they completed 10 water leaks at Smith Fork Campground, which is down from 2024, or down from 2023 when we did 14. So that is good. We want them to go down. We don't want them to keep doing that.
2017, you did 10 a week.
Yeah, just about. The water line is really old there, just crumbling. And in years past, they did quick fixes and just capped it rather than going from the spigot to the main. And so Chase has really made that a priority to him to each water leak they get, even if it's a small one at the top, they'll just go from the spigot all the way to the main water line to prevent all the leaks that we were getting. So,
And the pressure has increased as well.
yeah.
The pressure is.
Well,
is
there's not holes in the
crazy.
line.
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
You would actually
Yeah.
barely
Oh, and we
turn
have-
on and do dishes and it would just sometimes.
We actually-
depends what side
We
you
did a
want,
whole new
barely
water
get
line,
it.
right? When we did the pump station. Didn't we put in new?
They did not the campground, they went around the campground. Yeah. But yeah, no, but we actually didn't get our first water leak until September. So we opened in April, and so we had 10 water leaks between September and October in 2 months.
Oh.
So not sure what happened, but something happened.
Dried up.
Yeah.
Ground dried up.
It is what it did, really did happen, yeah. But yeah, so the campground brings in about $270,000 in revenue. That was about the same, and then I put this together right around that time, so that's probably pretty accurate how we ended the season. So
I know this is off subject for as a camper, we would appreciate if we could open up. I know it doesn't open to April 1st,
mhm.
but like we go the first year there, we take 15 campers down there because
Yeah.
it's close to home. If something breaks, we have water line breaks if we've forgotten something. And then we also do Easter there. So it's hard for us
Yeah.
to plan if we don't know we can all get in there. So it'd be nice if we could bump it up just even a half a month.
Well,
Yeah.
we talked about opening up in first of the year, which I don't know if
I did talk with the camp host about it, and
I mean, opening
we
the
just kept
reservation
going. We
for
kept
it.
going over like the cons and what was going on, different things like that. And so we just decided to keep it the same, and then we'll look at it again this year, a little earlier.
Or maybe
going-
open-
But if you
yeah.
Maybe open
Yeah.
half of them available for first
Yeah.
of the year for people that want to book
Yeah.
things
The-
in advance.
We just didn't feel like we were going to be able to get out the word quick enough to everybody this year but at least if we can go this year, like, hey, just a heads up, the camp coach can spread the word that we're open up January because obviously holidays are the big thing and they go so quick. Those are what gets booked on April 1st is the holidays. So we wanted to make sure we were fair and got it out to everybody.
Well, and you could be
Yeah.
like Lawson, they blocks out, you can't do those till a certain time.
Yeah.
So you're not inundated all at once for
Yeah.
everything and you crash. 'Cause
That's
I think
what-
when
yeah.
you guys turned on the system, 2 or 3 years ago, you crashed.
Well, we need to look at doing what the county does too with the holiday weekends of requiring more day bookings.
5 days at Clay County.
Yeah, Clay
We
County's
do,
at 5.
we do minimum 3 nights, which is
Yeah, but they're at 5 now, and
Yeah.
people will pay for 5 even if they use 2 or 3, and it's
yeah,
They do, we do.
definitely. Yeah.
just and one thing too, for those of you that don't know, all the revenue we make at Smiths Fork, Matt mentioned it's leased.
Yes. Sorry.
All the money we make there, we have to spend there. We can't make a bunch of money off the campground and then go spend it on Heritage Park. The agreement with the lawsuit, which we talked about last weekend, when the park was built and the dam was built, the city originally had talked about that's their park, they're gonna whatever. The city then had a lawsuit with the Corps. The city lost, so we essentially have a balloon payment loan for that land.
Yeah.
So, and Matt knows the numbers, but it escalates pretty steeply in a couple years to where we're paying a 6-figure lease every year. Right
Yeah,
now we're
yeah.
at
I think we were at
30,000.
46,000 24, and then we're paying 53,000 this year.
Yeah, and then it keeps creeping up. So when you look at like the campground, the shelter houses, all the things at Smiths Fork, you're like, oh, we could add more shelter houses. If you look at the numbers for rentals, you look at the campground numbers. If we added more, we have to spend it there. So it can't be used for anything else.
Yeah.
So ball field rentals, Matt's time, staff's time, the electrical upgrades we did there. It's because the money was made at that park. We have to spend it at that park. We can't take that money and use it for a revenue generator somewhere else. So that number looks like, oh yeah, we made a lot of money, but then you look at the 150,000 we just spent on pavement, the money Chase spends on frost freeze, it adds up really, really quick.
So you can see in the winter of 2020 and 2021, we 49 sites were upgraded to 50 amp. And then that increase from 2020 to 21 occupancy rate increased by 9%. So those were money well spent there in those improvements. Lake Remote Trail. So this is part of Smiths Fork Park. It's a 3.95 mile of
No ice fishing there either.
improved for 40-acre setting trails and trails with three different type services. We have ag lime, maintenance 10-foot cut and single track. You can go fishing there, and then the Girl Scout area is back there. Very peaceful walk through there. Actually, Ben, if he was here, he's been doing some work out there. He's been cutting down some limbs and different things like that. So he's been trying to do what he can back there.
Do you have a trail counter out there? Is that how you're keeping track of people?
Hmm. I do have a trail count. I have it was at Main Street, and then I moved
Yeah.
it over. Just I really wanted to see how many people were using it. So
Yeah. They're all
Yeah.
over the Katy Trail, so it's,
Yeah.
good to see that we have the.
I think this. I'm not sure what cross country sometimes goes back to.
That was probably, as I said, that was probably one of the cross country
Yeah.
days.
Also, we also at Lake Remote, it's our second year doing it. It'll be third year this year, but the archery club hosts a 3D archery event out at Lake Remote, which is really cool to bring it back to its roots because Lake Remote was built by an archery club in the early 1990s. So they're the ones that added the shelter there, and it was for an archery range that it's starting to come back to a trend on the California side, but the archery club now does their 3D high school meet back there. So it's
Well, I
been
think there's a
really
3D
cool.
tournament also. It's open to anybody. So
Mhm.
one of their fundraisers, keep an eye out for it if you do shoot, that they have a 3D open to anybody tournament.
Yeah.
So
But it's a cool partnership with the school, and they're easy to work with.
just don't shoot those real deer.
Main Street Trail.
Ironically, that's one of the sports are not supplied by Misha.
It's not a sport, it's a
Yeah,
club.
it's not considered a sport, so they don't get the funding.
it's a
So
club.
We need to support them if we can.
Main Street Trail is 1.4 mile trail that connects downtown to Smithfield to Smithfield Lake and Clay County parks. Of their 34 miles of trails, it was a recreational trails program grant similar to what we got for the OK Railroad Trail. It was also the funds were also tied into the 2018 bond for Streetscape Phase 1. This is an 8 to 10 foot wide concrete trail with water fountains, bike fixing stations, bike racks, and benches. And only one air pump because someone stole the other one.
Well, those things in, man.
Yeah, we were averaging about 130 visitors, and that was just at the top where our shop is. There's obviously a lot more that only go to about Grace Church and turn around. So numbers it's really well attended throughout the day. Like people are walking it in the morning when I get to work, and they're walking it when I leave work. So that was a great addition to downtown.
And
for
Grace
sure.
is continually added to their
Yeah.
shelter too. It's been nice that they're putting
Yeah.
money into that too, to give people a place to stop, and we're not having to spend money on that. So
Yeah.
it's
That extend across 169.
We are
under 169.
so the river.
Gonna go under.
Yeah, so the Riverwalk is it's being engineered right now.
Yep.
And we're looking at 2026 for hopefully by the completion by 2026.
And that's with Second Creek sidewalk. So that gets us
That's
all the way to
all-
Platte. That gets us all the way to Platte
That'll
County.
get you to downtown. Yeah.
It gets us, so, and if you look at the plan, so we had we had the Board of Aldermen meeting 2 months ago now that we went over the plans.
It was in January. It was our first January.
First
meeting.
January meeting?
Yeah.
So so it'll go Second Creek up to like the subdivision across, it's on the north side.
Yeah, the first.
And then there'll be a crosswalk.
Yep.
And then it'll tie into every sidewalk in Cedar Lakes.
Oh, really?
So Cedar Lakes, from the furthest sidewalk that you guys, the furthest entrance all the way will be connected to this trail.
So is that gonna be on the south side then, of the street then?
It'll be on the Cedar Lake side once it gets to once it crosses over to Cedar Lakes. So it'll be on the north side up to Loman to that other subdivision, then it'll cross. Yep, and then it'll catch you. So yeah, it'll connect Cedar Lakes, what's the other one across the street? And
I don't
then,
know. That
yeah,
would be-
and
that's
then-
what I talked about. I figured just getting to that point would be awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't expecting it.
yeah, and one of the things too is, so we have to, bolt onto the bridge.
Mhm.
Because it goes in front of those houses that are there to connect them. And then, we're following, if you look at it, how it follows, because the city owns the corner of 169 in Maine, we own the north, west corner.
Yeah.
And we're kind of following closer to the river, because if you try to come up under the bridge and go straight, it's really, really steep. But we are tying into the sidewalk on 169.
Cool.
Yeah,
So-
the mark,
Villas.
Stone Creek Villas, yeah.
Stone Creek.
And I would almost recommend if, when they go to look into that, they utilize the first entrance if you're gonna cross that first one instead of
That's-
the
yeah,
one
that's
on
what
the
it
was.
hill.
I
Yeah.
think that's where it was,
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, and then it'll be a sidewalks.
Yeah, then it'll continue up all the way to connect all of them.
Perfect.
3-1.
And the tie-ins are gonna be the same width as existing sidewalks, so it won't look wonky or
Nice.
anything.
Yeah.
Similar to what we did.
Yeah, that was a Mark funded grant too. And so that
We ended up
comes into effect in
getting,
2026.
I think we ended up getting close to 90% on one of them.
So,
26. Exciting.
That, it's being engineered right now.
Yeah.
I've
So,
seen the flags and stuff,
Yeah.
but I just wasn't for sure.
Yeah.
and it is going next to the river, so our river, a lot of it is floodway. So if there is a time where they have to open the dam, like they've had before, the water gets up,
Mhm.
it could cover part of the trail, but it has to, we have to do that. Just like with Heritage Park, it has to flood if
Yeah.
there's a flood.
it's actually on our list to talk a little bit more about the Riverwalk Trail in more detail, to kind of really just get that out to the public as well.
Yeah, because we want to know, we want your guys' input on kind of like, the grant is for the concrete. We have to do some little bit of signage because the watershed. And there is the hawk signal like we have by Grace.
Yeah.
That's in the plan, but other than that, there's no amenities type of stuff along it because it is. But the sidewalk even, we have to do 8 foot right for the grant.
Mhm.
So even the Second Creek sidewalk part will be 8 foot. The trail will be wider
Nice.
but minimum we have to do 8 foot, even along Second Creek.
And that's what we have going out this way is 8
That's
foot, right?
It's
8 or
to
10.
foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 8 foot in front of a couple houses because they didn't want to do the full easement.
Yeah.
But once you get past the houses, it's 10 foot.
10 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2026 is going to be a big year. As Chase said, he goes, man, 26 is going to be crazy. So we have
Chase
Smith's
just
Fork.
wants to ride a side by side down the new trail and
Yeah.
clear snow. I know.
So I told him.
But yeah, it'll open up that river for walking, for fishing. I mean, it opens up a lot. Running, you'll be able to run train for a marathon and stay on trails because commercials going into at the same time or around the same time
Commercial's going in this year.
this summer.
This summer.
So yeah, so you commercial to the school, which will tie into Hills of Shannon and the new subdivision South Fairview Crossing.
Yep.
So you'll be able to run from Fairview Crossing, which their sidewalks already in, or walk all the way down to downtown, and then go east to west.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I think that will
Actually,
bring
we
more
might be-
appeal to the city than Smith's Forks. I think that's because it's tying in your
Yeah.
local neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be appealing for,
We'll just feel
City
like
for
part of the
sure.
community then.
Yeah, finally.
You're not gonna be on an island anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So then we got Wildflower Park. This is 6.23 acres off Wildflower Drive in Haley's neck of the woods. It's close to Eagle Heights Elementary. It's a small retention pond on the property. The guys, actually Mark has taken it upon himself to really clean up that pond. So if you've been out there, the trees have come down. It's a lot easier to use.
There's some
And,
big fish in that pond.
Yeah, and so we'll continue to look at possibly stocking that, keeping that up, and then this is in phase 3 of the master plan, kind of later on, but we'll definitely get with that neighborhood and kind of go over what they want it to look like because a lot of them attended the master plan when we were going over that to the public, and there was a lot of ideas, and there was some ideas that we had, and we scrapped them and went and just built Diamond Crest instead. So we'll definitely come back to that because it is a lot of kids in that neighborhood, a lot of families. So it'll be a really great park. Some news on that: there's a development that's going there to the south side of Wildflower neighborhood,
Okay.
where they've kind of staged all that piping and stuff back there. That'll be a new subdivision it's in planning commission right now. Has it been approved by them? It has been approved by them.
Done.
And so they've got different phases. Phase 1 is to add kind of the front part, and they're going to be adding a sidewalk in front of that neighborhood, which will help us be able to get a sidewalk from there up to Eagle Heights on that road there.
Part Part of their park
Road.
dedication is to get part of Fly Wildflower, right?
Yep, and they've added a tract of land that they're donating, and they're gonna kind of clean up the area, and so we'll add more land, more acres to this park, and so we'll maybe be able to add a second entrance for parking in the future. But yeah, it'd be really cool to have that, some ideas coming through there.
So in lieu
bees-
of giving
bees and
us a
trees.
park or concrete, they're gonna have to donate acreage to us. Is
So
that
they're
kind of
doing,
where
they're
we're-
doing, they're doing
They're doing
both. They're
both,
doing
okay.
sidewalk and acreage.
It's,
Okay.
so the park dedication is about $700 a door, right? Is where we're at now. So if it's apartment, we did it per door because apartment complexes, whatever. So they're 200, I think, houses, 200 something. So it's a substantial amount and they'll be on site doing the work anyway. So for them to put the concrete in, it's easier.
Where's this sidewalk going? On
Right
F
up,
or
yeah,
Eagle?
right,
Eagle
yeah, it'll be
Parkway.
Way?
Eagle Parkway, yeah, it'll be on their side. Eagle Parkway would just be a sidewalk with their land that they're.
Yeah, the goal is,
West or the east?
the goal is to connect
West
on the
side.
west, to connect the trails crosswalk we did to Bainesbridge, which is that next
180th,
intersection,
yeah.
right by Rollins. And then,
Like as you're going
Hopefully
into
we
the
can-
golf course, that road.
yeah, hopefully we can get the county to help with from Bainesbridge to 180th. Cause they had talked about going like connecting 188th to 180th across the golf course or somehow in that area. But if they go along that right of way, it makes more sense. So that people can walk out of the park up and then.
Yeah, we did apply for a mark grant for that sidewalk that would go from 180th all the way up to Eagle
Lots of
Heights.
commenting.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
trying to get on there.
Yeah, if you
telling
look
the
at-
neighborhood people to
It
comment.
didn't score very well for some
If you look at
reason.
180th to Bainesbridge though, like there are some ditches in there that are pretty bad. So we want to get culverts in those and get a trail on those would be very helpful to those property owners.
So it's on the list and it'd be great to connect those areas. We have Humphrey and Nancy Smith Park. That was something, that's that picture there, right here. That's where this is, First Street here. So it's this area here and also this little corner here, but in 2026, again, they're gonna be doing, or is it 27?
She said 27. That's-
27, yeah.
27 to 28.
27, they're putting a roundabout here, that will take away some of this road, so this it'll take
That
away
whole
this.
road goes away.
It'll take away this road and this Second Street will connect all the way through here. And so this will all become one big grass area. So, yeah, we could do something there in the,
Oh, it gets you out a lot faster at the roundabout.
Yeah, it takes as long as the bridge is taking.
180-day projects, 100, we're not touching the bridge.
Well, I know, but that bridge right here is already,
It's not, we're not doing anything to the bridge.
I know, but it's happening right now.
Good thing we found out in the last meeting is that crate's gone. That big hole.
Yeah, the
that
grate's
crate is
gone.
yeah, so this will all be one big green space and it'll allow us an opportunity to do something with that park.
Yeah.
So there's obviously assisted living over here, so we can get creative and do something.
So that road up top, where that'll just connect straight across then?
Yep.
Yep, straight
And that's
across.
Second Street goes by the cemetery.
Yep, okay, so they're just connecting.
Yeah, so they don't, that intersection's super wonky to get in and
It
out.
is, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So that bridge where that road's going north now, we could have that utilize that whole space because there won't be that road there.
Yeah, there won't
So
be
we'll
this
have
road.
all that available to do another playground possibly.
Yeah,
I'd be
If
excited
we
for
can-
the guy that just built the house there.
If we can get the water.
yeah.
It's a flood zone.
Yeah, this area does flood, but when they redo the roundabout, they're gonna fix that. So
Also, the road might go through into like where La Fuente is too, because the property owner to the, right there where Matt's got the thing,
Mhm.
they're planning on bringing the parking lot to the road, so.
Yeah.
Bringing something through there eventually.
So yeah, Wildflower, we got Humphrey, and then some other sites that we maintain are City Hall, Senior Center, and the old schoolhouse. So if you guys know the old schoolhouse,
Yeah, but when it's-
Got a new roof.
yeah. So
Damn it.
we don't manage the schoolhouse, but we manage the land that it's on. So we mow it, to say the least. Take care of the trees.
So you own the land, but don't own the schoolhouse itself.
Correct.
Does the Historic Society is responsible for the schoolhouse?
Yep.
That wasn't even in Clay County.
Smithville Senior Center, so it's fully funded by Clay County Senior Services. It was remodeled back in 2012 and opened up in 2013 for the senior centers. It was just kind of a brick and mortar building, then we added the
You mean a Morton building?
Morton Building, sorry, Morton Building. That's where development used to be located at, but then turned into a senior center. Large common room with chairs and tables for 50 guests, large residential kitchen. We host senior lunches, senior fitness classes now Monday through Friday, and then we open it up for reservations Monday through Sunday after 4 o'clock during the week, and then all day on Sunday and Saturday.
You
Or
guys took the cabinet shop, I don't remember that. And I lived here at the time. You guys took the cabinet shop completely down and built it over?
no, there was that Morton building here, and then they put stucco around it basically, and they redid the inside.
Okay.
So, yeah, very creative.
Yeah, stucco brick.
Stucco brick.
It got hit by a car not too long ago and it's
Yeah,
got replaced. And
We did get that replaced.
it looks fine. Foam and
Yeah.
it's great that can we get sometime before the next meeting, get like the 10-year trend on reservations since we've changed policy and all that stuff.
For the, I could probably give you revenue. I can't give you probably guess because we just
Yeah.
started keeping care of that, but I
got
could do
you.
revenue.
Yeah, or total number of reservations or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah.
we could probably do that, I think.
Because I saw them line dancing in there last night, I think.
Yeah, they do Tuesday nights,
Okay,
or yeah, you would have saw them Tuesday night
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Okay.
when you were here for the board meeting.
Yeah, that's what it was. I went out front.
Yeah. Special events, we host many special events in our downtown courtyard, or we host a numerous of special events every year. Our downtown courtyard is perfect destination for festivals, vendor fairs, concerts, as well as we offer spacious Smiths Fork Park green space for outdoor concerts and special events. So obviously you can see these numbers were a little behind, but we hosted 25 events in 2023 and then around 3,000 people for haunted campground or so. Facility management, as you can see, as we talked about in our staff report, 2024 is the first year we really dived into facility rentals. We have 13 sites across 9 parks, and costs range around $15 to $50. Those open up on January 1 for the full calendar year.
You need to get an updated picture of the shelter.
Yeah, definitely looks nice now. We got different beams here. They took down the roof. The guys did a really good job at that, getting those upgraded. Youth and adult sports. We have little kickers all the way down through here, as you guys saw. Some of the new things we added were the senior fitness classes. We expanded those. Pickleball, adult basketball. Did you go on Tuesday? What?
Where's it at and where do you guys have it at, Grace?
It was at Maple Tuesday night, Wednesday night.
I'm assuming
Yeah,
it's on the website.
It's different every time.
Okay.
Just wherever we can get availability. There's one more in February.
I think.
Call your own foul.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I mean, there was times where last year where there's 20 people there, but it's just consistency.
It was
Yeah.
also freezing
No, I get that, but
this week.
I think if you had consistency, it would be packed.
Yeah.
My son-in-law drives up to Gower to do it. Why can't he do it here?
Yeah,
Are
this,
you talking about pickleball?
No,
No,
basketball.
adult basketball.
Okay.
yeah,
And Mosby used to do a
I
group.
played horse.
He used to do adult.
Like 21.
They used to go over to the prison and play the prisoners. There used to be adult league out of here that was like that. So get a hold of Mosby and them and you can get more engagement.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
He likes to
sporadic for
play.
sure, because we just,
That's it.
the availability the school gives us is not consistent.
So
Yeah.
what, like,
But I thought Eagle was pretty wide open though.
Well, they don't let us get eagled too much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What
we had
did
to
you
beg
think?
for little hoopsters to get Eagle.
You want to shoot me the email? I'll share it with like Sherry Fells and your old people that used to do it up here at the high school.
I would love that. It's just gotta be consistent,
Mhm.
you can't do it every 6 months and expect people. And then I had to text Robert, I forgot today, honestly. I know it comes in the newsletter. but-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's every Tuesday, it's easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just gotta have, or, every second Tuesday.
Yeah.
Gotta be consistent.
And we got Little Hoopsters basketball clinic that was started. So this is our second year doing that. Well attended.
Where's tennis?
That's pickleball there.
I know. Where's our tennis classes?
We did tennis classes before back when Mike worked here.
Yeah.
We got youth and adult programs, as you can kind of go back to the staff report, look at all these, but big changes over the last couple years since Alex has been here on that. Park maintenance, 3 full-time maintenance, hired part-time in peak season, maintained 9 parks, including Smiths Fork Campground, over 300 acres of parkland, all the facilities. One of the big things that the park maintenance strive to do is to meet the expectations to have zero restroom reported concerns. This is now year 4 when we did put this together that we didn't have any restroom reported concerns again. So,
And there's a picture of the shelters.
yep, them updating the shelter same.
So just so you guys know, 6 years ago, I got a call probably every week on
Mhm.
restrooms.
Yeah, we did.
This is like no even comments about them.
I actually got told, I was at Snack Daddy's I told you this, I think, a couple months ago. Somebody said, "Who cleans your bathrooms?" And I'm like, why? Because you never know what's gonna come out. They're
Yeah.
like, "These are the cleanest parks bathrooms I've ever seen in my life." Like, oh, great.
That's what they do.
So,
So yeah, kudos to the guys. They've seen some bad stuff in there. So
yeah, that's the thing too, is they're consistently there before anybody's there.
Yeah.
So if there
That's
is
the goal.
something, they can
Yeah.
shut it down, but
And
yeah,
they
it's,
show up within a matter of what we called you for Lake Fest within 15 minutes.
yeah, and that's usually if somebody,
On a Sunday morning that person came in, so yeah.
yeah, it's been amazing. Like 7 years ago, it was pulling teeth to get them to even like put a checklist on the door that they looked at the bathroom. I think we actually had somebody quit over that. And now it's just clockwork. Every day I see a truck down there, and
Yeah.
or every night there's a truck down, like
Yeah.
the guys are there, they're taking care of it.
Kudos to them.
Yeah, great job.
and then let's see here. The top of the water leaks. Yep.
That
that's
maintain,
kind of
you
them
need to
using the
put-
water. So we got the backhoe and then the truck, and those are big equipment pieces for us there. Digging up the campground water leaks
Is your water trailer on there?
is not on there. It's not well, that picture.
I mean,
but
is it in your presentation?
no, it's not. No, I did it when we did this. I did a tour. We
Okay,
did a tour out to the shop, so we got to show them that.
And his presentation took our whole night.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
the water trailer's awesome.
Yeah.
They use that a lot too.
So what's coming up in Smithville? We have the youth sports, Emerald Ridge Park update, OK Road Trail grants. Got that done. Riverwalk. So this
That's
is
the millions, right?
Yeah, this is a millions currently down at the OK Road Trail, formerly known as Diamond Crest Park. So really awesome trail around this time of year with the shade and just the views of the trees, how it kind of arches over. So
Kudos for recommending it for pictures because my girlfriend took the friends out there.
did she do it? Yeah, especially in the snow. The snow time out there is pretty cool.
Yeah. I know Kyle is just complaining about the bridge a little bit, but I'm sure that it's saving him from going near the bump outs, so
Ah.
he can just go 169 across. He's good.
This is obviously the Riverwalk that I wanted to put in. Like we have this on our future agenda to talk about this into more details, but as you can see, we have it. Here's 169. There's that road that'll be kind of up. It'll go around, then back under along the way, and into Heritage Park. And these are kind of some of the minis we'll need to talk about of what this looks like once the trail's actually in there.
Yeah, and one of the things that's not going to be on this map because it's newer, as part of the development across the street, their park dedication, part of their park dedication is they're building a gravel parking lot just north of
yeah.
13.
So yeah, this apartment complex that's going across the street from City Hall. Yeah, it'll be.
So they're paving that one, and then they're building a secondary gravel lot in that.
So
where those
it'll
kinda
go
trees-
kind of like down into this
Yeah.
area almost.
Yep.
Right
And then
up.
they've already put a lot of the gravel and stuff, or fill dirt in there already,
That's where, what, funeral home.
north of the funeral home.
Yep.
So I thought they were doing something with this lot.
They're doing
Yeah,
that
we're
lot
gonna do
too.
that as well too.
So they have to improve this lot. They're redoing the lot around United Fiber, and then next to the funeral home is going to be a paved striped lot. But then right below that, if you drive to the back of that lot, you can see there's kind of a road that goes to the apartments.
Okay.
They're doing a gravel lot there that's like eight or 10 spots. And they already put fill dirt in there because they took the dirt out of the hospital site.
It'll be
put it in
good
there.
for someone that wants to come walk the trails. They can just come there and park it.
Yeah.
Right, and they can get to it from Bridge or from Church.
Yeah, so we'll be parking. You'll be able to park here, down here, and then also at the overflow lot here as well, and get to the trail. in
I'm
different
assuming at
spots.
Heritage is when they're going to connect to cross to
Yeah.
the other rest of the part of the.
Right now, it's just
trail.
gonna stop right here at the overflow parking lot here, because then you have the walkway here, and that'll bring you into Heritage around. So
Yeah.
that's trails.
Heritage already has a trail around it and
Yeah.
across it.
Well, I was just talking about Crossman. I forgot right there at where Leanne Rick lives. It would be right there at the stop sign. That's where they'd connect to the trail to go out to the lake if they were coming
Yep.
from Kyle's house.
Yeah, right over here.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, over here is what you're talking about. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah,
it goes-
yeah, and if you look at the grading there, if somebody asked why we weren't coming just like straight south after we go under the bridge, that part is like super steep. So if we go further to the west and then kind of come back south, it's more ADA compliant and less of a grade. Less dirt work.
It might feel more nature than walking right on the side of the
Right.
highway.
We want to keep you closer to the river and the creek.
And that's the presentation.
It was a very nice presentation. We learned a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, it kept all of us very intrigued.
But sewer is your favorite.
Actually, I learned a lot. I had to say it was not my favorite to attend, but it was like my favorite to learn things. Like there was so much I would have never known had I not taken that course. I recommend it to anybody that's in this room. I highly recommend applying and getting into it because I did learn a lot, but sewer is where I learned the most. I was just shocked on some of the things.
Just some quick facts here. So this was kind of for the Citizens Academy, but it's always a good reminder that the city of Smithville only handles all parks within inside city limits, so we don't do anything around Smithville Lake or their parks. Smithville Park is owned by the Army Corps of Engineers. We manage trails here. And then when I send you this presentation, you guys will be able to click on this and see I put the Carney's plans here because it's a good reference of what cost were. And so they have some really good facts here of what they just went through. It'd be very similar to what, if we ever wanted to do something, it'd be very similar to that.
Right. And if you
They
go
wrote
back to
that down?
slide number 1,
Huh?
Didn't they, Carney, vote part of that down?
Seventy-
They voted the
75%.
whole- Yeah, it was a big no.
and Liberty's failed at 75% in the same ballot. And that was to improve their existing community center and add some sports courts further down. But yeah, the Kearney and Liberty actually just put it, Liberty has a ballot initiative and Kearney has a ballot initiative. Matt said our sales tax, we originally thought was gonna be 400,000 for half cent, and we're getting 700. Any guesses at what Liberty gets on a 1% sales tax estimate? 7.5. Kearney is also, if you look at this, sales tax, Kearney, this was to do a increase to property tax and a sales tax and to use existing CID funds from their Price Chopper CID, because that's what part of that was for. And they were still gonna have to get all this to fall in line to be able to do it. We don't have enough property to, because they have a lot more commercial property tax. We don't have enough to even get close to the bond they're looking at.
Yeah, so this they did some really good math, and I think it's as far as the property tax stuff goes, I think it really goes in, it shows you how much, like if just a percentage of the property tax,
Yeah.
what it would do to.
It-
It's just,
It's not a lot per person, but it does they generate a lot more sales tax because they are on a big highway. Now they have 2 highway off ramps that are gonna have a lot of development.
Yeah.
But also the other thing that people don't realize is the land that they were gonna use was donated, well, bought with a lot of donated money.
yeah,
And we don't have, their land is, that was donated is right in a great spot that already has utilities. And I think Shauna learned a lot of this with the sewer and water master plan. There's a lot of places in Smithville that do not have utilities. That the housing we're talking about, 188th and Eagle Parkway, that's all in septic still. There's no sewers over there. There's a water line. There's a lot of land that doesn't have sewer even on it, let alone that anybody's gonna give us for free.
Yeah.
And then you gotta operate it.
yeah, it's always good, like, the city is not against a community center in the future, it's just having sure we have the right funds and not getting.
Well,
it
when
right.
Smithville is growing, when I
Yeah.
learned in this class,
Yeah.
that Smithville is just a long skinny rail.
Yeah.
What we're growing is outside of the city limits, so you're not gonna get those taxes.
Well, and the reason we talked about doing distributed recreation, like having stuff at Eagle Heights and Grace Church and all these different places throughout the community is no matter where we put a community center, it's gonna be the wrong place. Because if you put it in the dead center, everybody's 5 miles except people downtown. If you put it on south end, people are 10, 15 miles. And, the places that make sense, like by Price Chopper, that's solid rock. They took a lot of blowing stuff up to get sewer in there. Like
Yeah.
it's not free land.
Yeah, I'll send this email to you, and as I said, throughout this presentation, there's links where you can really like click on and get some more information. It'll take you to different sites, so I recommend doing that. It'll take you, a lot of these will take you to like Google Maps to show you where it is, so like if you don't know where Emerald Ridge is,
Was that first picture AI?
yeah, if you can go to Emerald Ridge, it'll show you where it's at. So just some details just in case.
Was your first parks picture up there AI generated?
This one,
No, the one on the first slide.
this one.
One after that.
Downtown, that used to
No,
be
one
a
after
ridge.
that. Next, I thought you had one that had like some funky trees and stuff.
Mm-mm.
Oh, you talking about when they were doing heritage proposals?
I don't, yeah, no, that was,
Okay, we gotta get little girl
Anyway.
for basketball.
just gotta go to basketball.
Okay,
Any new business? Any public comment?
yeah, any public comment?
You got anything to say?
No.
You
Thank
gotta
you all for
demand
welcoming
something.
me.
Say you want some more basketball courts.
I look forward to working with you guys.
New business?
If anyone has any comments, I'm attending the public sales tax committee. I start on that on Monday, so if anyone wants.
Public
to reach out to
safety?
me. Mhm.
Okay,
Doing
I'll
that.
adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Push. Second.
Second.